Hello, it's time for another Combat Patrol unboxing. So I was getting to work on some terrain bits from the first set of terrain cards while there was a knock at the door and a lovely brown box was left for me. So it's the latest delivery of Combat Patrol, which is delivery 6. So we get 4 issues plus a bonus character pack plus our subscriber mug. So we'll be taking a look at all of those. So the issues in question are Parasite of Mortrex 19, the Chaplain on the Bike for issue 20, 21 is our Farseer, and 22 is our paint issue for the delivery. So we've got some rather nice models, 3 characters in total, plus, well, 4 if you count the character pack, and 2 new paints to add to our collection. So it'll be interesting to see just how those paints are used. I got a feeling it'll be used on the Librarian, as we have a yellow. We're painting a lot of the pouches and stuff as well on our Space Marines, as we've got a brown. And I'm kind of interested to see if we have a choice of 2 Craftworlds to paint. Would be really interesting if we did. But I think it's going to be the red and white of Sam Hahn. We'll find that out when we hit issue 21. So before we hit the table, don't forget to do all the usual. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what other videos you want me to do, whether it's Combat Patrol related or whether it's a different system entirely. Let me know, and I will try my best to bring some more content for 2025. Finally then, Combat Patrol Carnage is proudly sponsored by warbay.shop, your one-stop supply for all your hobby needs. They have a wide selection of new and used models for various different armies and game systems. They also stock all your hobby supplies and your gaming essentials as well. They're also stockists of Combat Patrol, as well as previous partworks from Hachette. So if you want extra issues, check them out. They're taking advance orders for up to issue 30. So yeah, if you want some extra issues, head over there and put some orders in. Right, I think we ought to get to the table and take a look at our latest delivery, as we have quite a lot to go through. So here we are, our brown box full of models and a little bonus gift as well. So first off then, we got our character pack for Chief Librarian Tigurius. Beautiful model, and can't wait to see what the contents are like. Not a very big book, so I'm guessing it's just going to be background, build guide and paint guide. Plus we have an awesome little display at the back, which is that kind of standard Space Marine box art from the Warhammer photography team. Got a drop pod in the background, some ruined Imperial buildings, and a nice deserty sort of base. So we got the one I'm most excited for, I think, the Chaplain on Bike issue 20. Really cool model, can't wait to get this guy built and painted. We have 19, the Parasite of Mortrex. So yeah, a nice new Tyranid beastie to add to our army. 22 our paint issues, so Averland Sunset and Catachan Flesh. So we'll be painting a lot of the small details on our Space Marines. And it'll be interesting to see what else we do. And issue 21 is our Aeldari Farseer, plus we have our second battlefield map as well. Right, that's the empty box. So we'll start with the little bonus, which is the subscriber gift, and then we'll start going through the magazines in number order, finishing off with that awesome Chief Librarian Tigurius character pack. So I'll zoom in a little bit and we'll get on with everything. So first off, little white box with a Combat Patrol label on, so mug for 6th delivery. So just a rather simple ceramic mug with Combat Patrol on both sides, the Terminator Captain on one side and the Winged Prime the other. There was going to be a heat change feature, but I think that got removed. And it's, yeah, just a rather basic sort of mug. Quite nice. I've still got the Stormbringer one that I use. So this one will probably go to the spare mug drawer. So put that off to one side. And I think we'll get on with the issues. So first off, let's adjust the camera and we'll dive into issue 19. So issue 19 is our first issue. So videos for this are starting to appear online. I've watched 2 already. And yeah, it looks a nice little issue. So we've got an awesome looking model. So Tyranid model I've never actually owned. So quite nice. Looking forward to adding this to my Tyranids collection. Comes on a 40mm base. And into the actual magazine, so we've got the build guide for him. So you are going to need glue as it's a full multi-part model. But pretty simple build. You got the lower body, the 2 halves of the main body, 3 parts of the head there. Wings and sort of tentacle lashing claws, smaller slashing claws, and pretty much that's it. Paint guide is, yeah, pretty simple and much the same as our previous Tyranid paint guides. So Wraithbone start, Baraknar Burgundy on the carapace, Squig Orange for the flesh, Abaddon Black for claws, Screaming Pink for the inside of its mouth, and that's it so far. Read articles, we've got all about the Great Crusade, a short story called The Enemy Within, featuring a Parasite of Mortrex, Bonds of Honor Part 5, so we've got a double whammy of stories in this issue. We have our battle record for the Parasite of Mortrex. We have a little tactical readout for the Parasite of Mortrex, the bonuses and negatives of taking it in your games. A little bit more on its abilities. And then we got a scenario which allows us to actually use the Parasite of Mortrex in a combat scenario. So yeah, pretty small game, but it just allows you to try out your new model. And we got a nice little bit here saying you've now completed a Tyranid combat patrol. If you want any more, scan the QR code and it'll take you to the Tyranids page on the Games Workshop website where you can look at the full range and think what to add next. Moving on to the hotly anticipated issue 20, the Chaplain on bike. So another bonus character for our combat patrols. So he's on a nice large oval base. Bit of an odd choice, really. Something infantry based would have been a nice addition. But I mean, if you still have the Imperium contents, which I actually still have the Outriders from Imperium, I haven't got around to selling them yet. This would be a nice addition to that. But yeah, pretty cool model, loads of detail. I've actually painted one previously for a White Scar project, but ended up selling them on. This one, and once the magazine is complete, I'm going to be repainting the shoulder pad into red, and he'll be joining my Blood Angels. But I'll paint him as Ultramarines for the moment. And yeah, he's going to be a nice addition to my Blood Angel force, which is going to be very close combat and bike orientated. So let's see what the magazine has about the Chaplain on bike. So we've got the build guide. So it's going to be a really in-depth and intricate build guide. It's a multi-part kit, so there's lots of details to do and glue together. So we've got the bike. I do recommend leaving perhaps the backpack off to reach details that you'd otherwise be blocked off by smaller details like part 27. Might even be a good idea to leave the entire top torso separate, as it simply just glues into one position. So that could be an option. But yeah, definitely a model to be done in sub-assemblies, I think, whether the magazine does it or not. Only the one sub-assembly, the base and the bike itself. Yeah, definitely could have done with a couple more sub-assemblies. Like I said, I'm going to leave the torso as a separate component, I think, just to make reaching all that detail a lot easier. So for a change from the norm, we are starting with an Abaddon Black base. So coating the entirety of the bike and its base, picking out all the mechanical workings of the bike with lead belcher, including the guns, the chains over his book, venting and stuff on the backpack and his mask, and straps on his van braces there. Retributor armor for all the trim on his armor, the Chaplain's halo skull on the side of the bike, his iron halo on his backpack and the top of the Crozius. Rakoff flesh for purity seals, pages on the book, Mephiston red for the guns, casings, as well as the weapon haft and his face lenses there. Screamer pink for the book and the purity seals, Wraithbone for his skull helm, McCrag blue on the blue shoulder pad, and Barracknard burgundy for the bookmark. And that's pretty much it so far. Definitely going to be a long way from finished. He's got a lot of details that need to be picked out. Shades are going to do a good job to make him look a lot better. So we got his battle record there, so we can roll on the tables on the previous issues. Give him a bit of background and stuff as well. Oh, Jesus. This issue seems to feel a bit like it's wet, water damaged. So yeah, we've got his data card as well, how to use it in the combat patrol. And we got the same thing for Parasite of Mortrex, the bonus sort of tactical page as well. Oh, what is up with this issue? Jeez. And then we got a scenario, so written down. So Chaplain on bike, Captain and Terminator armor, 5 Infernus Marines, 10 Termagants, 10 Termagants, 3 Von Rhines Leapers, Barb Gaunts, and the Winged Prime. And yeah, just a simple mission, very similar to the last one, but opposite corner deployment zones. And again, a third page stuck together. So yeah, charge and fight with the Chaplain. God, geez, this issue is the worst I've had, I think. And much like with the Tyranids, we've got a sort of where to go with your next additions to your combat patrol force. So another QR code to scan there. And we can move on to add some extra Space Marines to our Space Marine army. And preview of the next 2 issues, which we can get straight onto because we have. #21, Farseer. So really interested to see what's in this issue. We haven't had any data cards with this delivery, so maybe in the next delivery. But there we have our Farseer sprue. Very few components, but a rather nice model anyway. Could probably do with a bit of a bigger base. The 25mm is kind of small, I think, for a Farseer. He definitely needs to be on a 32, I think. I might go and remount him. So as a bonus, we do have our second battle mat, so we can start playing bigger games. I don't think we'll be using the Farseer in battle just yet, though. Probably saving that for when we get more Aeldari units. We'll see what the magazine contents has. So we have our build guide, very simple model to build, very few components, as I said, and yeah, just goes together quite nicely. And yeah, we are painting it with the Sam Hahn colour scheme. Sadly, I would have definitely preferred a option to do Iandan myself, which you could do with the collection easily. So Mephiston red is a primary base colour, Wraithbone for the inside of the cape and any bits of cord, Abaddon black for pouches, belts, the face mask, his boots and the haft of his spear, Corax white for all of the white armour panel pieces, so his helmet, his shoulder pads and the bit around his middle there. Screaming pink for the outside of his cape, Retributor armour to pick out all the raised detail on his cloth and armour there. Retributor armour for the bangles on his wrists, the detail on the spear. Lead belcher for the blade of the spear. Screaming pink for the giant gem on his helmet. McCrag blue then for the eyes and the little gem on his chest there and the one hanging down off his belt, and there we are. Does look really nice, I must admit. Looks pretty good for just basic colours. So yeah, you've got little spirit stones hanging around the belt, done in different colours. Really cool. And yeah, okay, I think I'm really quite looking forward to painting this guy. And moving on, we have our read articles. So a look at the Aeldari as we're starting to look at the new faction. The Immaterium and how it works. a short story for the Aeldari called Mind War. We have his name, his background sort of table as well, so we can name our Farseer. We do have his data sheet, and yes, we are actually using the Farseer, so it's Farseer versus Termagants. Okay, so this is an interesting scenario. In this scenario, the Aeldari Farseer is deployed on the location shown at the start of each of the Tyranid players' command phases. So you roll a dice on a 1 to 3, deploy 2 Termagants at spot 1, 4 to 6, 2 Termagants at spot 2. Then how to win. If the Aeldari player begins their command phase within 3 inches of an objective, they have gathered intelligence from that objective. If the Aeldari player can gather intelligence from 2 or more objectives, and if they can survive to the end of the 4th battle round, they will win. If the Aeldari Farseer is killed, or if they are prevented from gathering required intelligence, then the Tyranid player is victorious. Okay, so just a fun little scenario to introduce the Farseer, get used to his abilities, and yeah, how an Aeldari sort of army will work. So yeah, make sure you read through your turn-by-turn guides here, as it's going to be very important, help you understand the rules for using the Farseer in games. And yeah, pretty cool. So we've got Combat Patrol is just beginning. Scan the QR code to go to check out different factions of Warhammer 40,000. So we see Aeldari versus Chaos here, which is the old battle box that I actually got. I still need to build that big guy. And I've painted all these in Nyandon, and I've built and painted these for my Black Legion. So yeah, now we can start thinking about Aeldari and Tyranid victories as we're starting to add to that. Interesting one to look at next is our paint issue. Then after that, we've got 2 issues focusing on the new Guardian squad to add to our Combat Patrol force. So yeah, part 1 or 2, Great Rift, Weapons of the Asuryani, Fall of the Aeldari, part 2, and we have Silver Templars story as well. So last of the main delivery, and that's issue 22. So let's see what our paint guides have in store for us. So our paints in question, Averland Sunset and Catachan Flesh, 2 lovely paints. Really like enjoying these 2 paints, are really nice. Especially Catachan Flesh, that's grown on me quite recently thanks to Stormbringer. So moving into the issue, so we're using the new paints to add extra detail to our models. So belts, pouches, weapon sheaths, any straps, the book on the Librarian and the strap on the Crozius for the Chaplain are done with Catachan Flesh. Averland Sunset, the ribbed cables around the Librarian's torso and going into his psychic hood, as well as the small cables on the inside of his head. The flat panels there on the teleport homer, and then updating our Tyranids, so painting Averland Sunset onto the eyes of all our models, so the Termagants, the Winged Prime, the guns as well, don't forget them, and the barb launchers as well. And Catachan Flesh is used to pick out a few small pouches on the Farseer there as well. And there we have our work in progress on our models so far. So yeah, not a lot of detail done, just very small bits, but helps bring our models out. After that, we got some read articles looking at the Aeldari war hosts and our Combat Patrol in question there, plus the minus the extra 5 Wraith Guard, which are over the page luckily. They're different vehicles, so the Wave Serpent. Bit more about the Craftworlds and starting to look at the different ones. There we have good old Nyandon. So Samhan, the one the magazine's going to be making us paint our models as. Ulfway, the classic black and bone. And the Laytok, my second favourite, with the dark blue and yellow. Rumoured to be aiding the Crimson Fists in their hunting down of orcs at the moment, with the mysterious disappearance of the captain of the 4th Company, Captain Cortez. So yeah, kind of allies, kind of not. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the near future for that particular story. if it does get touched on again. Then we have a read article all about the Galaxy of War, so there's some of the different war zones, and a beautiful 2-page map of the galaxy as we know it. So all the different war zones, some of the different planets and key locations, and then some of the different war zones that are going to be seen possibly in the future of this magazine. So then we have a collect article for the Aeldari, so we can give titles to our characters, in this case the Wraithlord and the Farseer. And we got our first advanced play article all about how to play Combat Patrol games. So yeah, this is pretty much straight out of the Combat Patrol core rules. Then we're into part 2, so Combat Patrol missions and what makes them specifically different to other missions. So we got our first mission, Clash of Patrols there. And we got an, ooh, this is different. We have an allies matrix. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. So use this table to record which of your combat patrols have fought in this mission. Use the key below to identify the factions that have fought and identify the attacker in red and the defender in green. Then place a tick in the box of the grid between the two. As you receive more combat patrols with the collection, you can return to this mission to see how each of them fare against each other's. Okay, so we're going to be actually doing a full sort of combat patrol game, 4 objectives in a large cross, and then we are using 2 battle mats, have an attacker and defender. So we'll be able to play this out as we have 2 full combat patrols in the form of Space Marines and Tyranids. So very interesting. That's a nice little addition to the actual core combat patrol rules. And the next issues after that is part 1 and 2 of our Aeldari Guardians, so pretty cool. But we're not done yet. We have one last little thing to look at, and that is the character pack for Chief Librarian Tigurius. So we have our model in question, a beautiful model, so much detail. He is very Ultramarine specific though. He's got a Ultramarine U on his staff, on his shoulder pad, on his back banner, and I believe there's one on his knee pad there, and on his chest eagle as well. So you can convert this guy into a different chapter, but it isn't going to be easy. Yeah, you're going to need a lot of filing down, changing components over, so you can change this shoulder pad easy, change the head of the staff fairly easy. Personally, I would cut the entire backpack off and put a different icon on its place, not on its place. The hardest bit is going to be the chest eagle, and the knee pad's not going to be too hard to do, but yeah, definitely the chest eagle on the inside there, that Ultramarine U, is going to be hard to remove. We do have an Ultramarine U buried in the base, and that's nothing a little bit of texture paste can't cover. And he comes on a 40mm base. And into the character pack. So pretty small. So special 1. So we have our build guide for Chief Librarian Tigurius. So pretty simplest to build. We've got some small components though, so just be careful. And then we got our paint guides. This is going to be very similar to the premium kit guides. So yeah, putting down all our base colors. So Auric Flesh is going to be used for the wreath around his staff there. We've got some other colors we haven't got yet. So Mechanical Standard Grey we're still waiting for. That's going to be used for stuff like the horns on his skulls. So a lot of detail. We've got his base detail to pick out as well. Then we've got our shades, so normal for these colours, black and flesh shade for these, and Grant Reserve shade for these. Then we've got his loads more details to pick out, so just use these to observe and find out which colours need to be done. And then we've got all our highlights, so quite a few colours to highlight, so a lot more colours we haven't got yet. So Night Quest of Flesh, Pallid Witch Flesh, Pink Horror, Wild Rider Red, Uriel Yellow, and Administratum Grey, and Auric Flesh I believe is the same as the base coat. Yeah, so I'm going to use that to highlight the same colour. And yeah, there we have it. So he's got quite a lot of little details to pick out, even painting his eyes in. We've done a really nice job on the paintwork for the detail on the face there, I think. Really nicely done. And yeah, a pretty good finished result in all. Really nice character pack, nice premium feel to it as well. Then we got a little bit of collect article about the different ranks of the Librarius. So Chief, Librarian, Epistolary, Codicer, Lexicanum and Acolyte. Then we have a data sheet. So this is his full data sheet. So how do we use it in game? This keyword represents specific characters from 40k as it being an epic hero. You cannot take more than one of the same epic hero in an army or give them enhancements. This model is not usually part of your combat patrol, but you can use him instead of your captain in Terminator armor in combat patrol games if your opponent agrees. Okay, that's interesting. This data sheet allows you to use him in a wider game of 40k. So yeah, this is his full data sheet. No cutbacks or anything. So if you want to, you can use it in combat patrol games. Just swap out the Terminator captain. Roughly about the same sort of equal characterish style. Only got 4 wounds as opposed to the 6, but yeah, he's still pretty good. He's got 3+ armor, 4+ invulnerable. He's got loads of other special abilities as well. Can be attached to quite a few different squads. Can be attached to the Infernus squad though, that's the important thing. Don't look like he can. Intercessors, Stern Guard, Assault Intercessors, Tactical. No Infernus squad, that's kind of annoying. It would have been nice if we could have used him to enhance the Infernus Marines. And then we got a tutorial on how to take photos, very handy, and a little background to take the photo on. Right, I'll bring everything back in and give you my final thoughts on Delivery 6. So there we have Delivery 6 of Combat Patrol, and a rather good delivery. Quite a nice lot of models to get us going with for the next month. So yeah, 5 magazines in total because we have that character pack if you opted in for it. If not, you opted out, you wouldn't have received it, but it's a nice bonus and £10 for a character that's nearly 30 anyway. Pretty good value. The Farseer is another character. Pretty much all the models in this are characters. I believe he's 20, so half price for him. Parasite of Mortrex is a little bit more expensive, but still roughly half price. Chaplain on bike is a bit bigger saving, over half price, as he's normally 28, I think. So yeah, we got some good savings. We do lose out though on the paint issue. It's a bit of a loss, but the saving for the rest of the delivery is pretty even, I think. I'll be putting, of course, price and stuff up on the screen so you guys can check it out for yourselves. Moving on then to what I think of ratings. Models wise, 5 out of 5. We got some solid models. The bonus character pack is a nice addition as well. Gaming supplies, we only got a game mat, so I'll give it a 2 out of 5. Paints, again, pretty abysmal. We do have only 2 paints. Again, a 2 out of 5. They're good colours. It's just we really aren't getting a lot for value in the way of paints. I think the next best value one we're going to get is our wash issue, which I think is the next delivery, or possibly the delivery after. I can't quite remember. But yeah, we get our shade brush, and I think we get Nolan Oil and Agrax Earthshade, so we can start putting shades over our models. I got a feeling the next paint issue is the Auric Flesh and Mechanica Standard Grey, I think. I'll try and put a correction if I'm wrong in somewhere here. But yeah, shade issues are going to be a good one. The pots are bigger, they cost more, so we are going to see a bit of a saving, as it's going to be... I mean, even at RRP, you're still going to lose out on 2 pots of shade per issue, but it's not a big deal. It's not stupidly cheap like 2 pots of regular base paint, where it's less than half the price of the issue. But yeah, you are going to get the shade brush, which pushes up the value for that issue anyway. But yeah, that's something to look forward to in the future. yeah, so overall, I think we're looking at a 3 out of 5. It hasn't been fair. The fact that we got the 2 paints really hurts. The fact that we ain't got much in the way of gaming aids really hurts as well. Of course, most deliveries we don't get anything gaming aids wise. It's usually just the ones where we have the data cards and stuff. So next delivery, I reckon we should get data cards at least. We'll probably get it for the first few Aeldari models that we're getting. So with our next delivery, I believe we do get the 2 parts of the Guardians, the Wraith Lord, and a paint issue. So we should get at least 4 cards to use for the Farseer, Wraith Lord, and the Guardian squad, plus terrain cards, maybe some of the extra ones of the Chaos Space Marines, which will be coming in delivery after this. After that, even. I think the value for this delivery is on that extra premium character pack. So I think that's going to help push it up. I'm going to push it from a 3 to a 4 out of 5. I think I'm going to be nice to it and give it a 4 out of 5. It's not a bad delivery by any means. We're bound to get worse ones when we come to more double paint issues, perhaps, where we don't get a lot of stuff. There's going to be some deliveries which are literally 2 double issue packs, so we're only going to be getting I think the Havocs and the Chaos Space Marines are over 2 issues each, so we're only getting 2 units out of the 4 issues, so that's going to definitely be a big downgrade sort of delivery. So we'll see how things go in the near future though. So yeah, I'm happy to leave it as a solid 4 out of 5, mainly because we've got that character pack there. Otherwise it'd be a 3 out of 5, so not too bad delivery. It's an average. We do have, of course, the bonus mug. Doesn't really add any value to the delivery, I don't think, but yeah, it's a mug you can use. You can drink your tea, you can put your paint water in it, whichever you prefer. Quite a nice sized mug actually, so I'm probably going to save it for my beverage of choice when I'm painting. But there we have it. I think I've rambled on long enough for this delivery. Yeah, I can't say much bad about this delivery other than the fact we're going to get 2 paints, really. It's a great delivery, great value as well, as I said. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to work on these issues. So my next video, of course, will be Parasite of Mortrex, followed by a Chaplain, followed by the Farseer. There will be a special video for Chief Librarian Togurius. Haven't decided if I'm going to do it as a Patreon exclusive or not yet. I'm going to try and do some more Patreon exclusive videos throughout this year. I tried to do it last year, but I just never got around to it. Hopefully this year I'm going to try and get better at the things I'm doing for you guys. Other than that, yeah, hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And yeah, I'll see you next time for more Combat Patrol Carnage as we dive into Delivery 6. So thank you and goodbye.